The Saucony ENDORPHIN Pro 3 was one of my favourite racing shoes, so how does version 4 compare? So welcome back to another running shoe review, and today in the spotlight is the Saucony ENDORPHIN Pro 4. Now this is an update that I have really been looking forward to. The version 3 was one of my favourite racing shoes. I've raced in it, I've trained in it, I've put well over 200 miles in it. So how are the changes in version 4? Has it made it better, worse, or is it still pretty much the same? Well, today we're going to be going through all of that. Quick disclaimer, this is a pair of shoes that Saucony sent to me for the purpose of review. However, they have no editorial control over the video, they have no idea of my thoughts, and they certainly won't see anything before you guys get to see it here on YouTube. So with that out of the way, let me tell you how I tested it. So this one was dropped in at the deep end, 2 hours and 15 minutes. 8 weeks out from London, this one took the marathon pace long run. Well, I should say the long run workout with some good marathon pace in it. So what happened with the long run? It was 75 minutes moderate, zone 2 for me, out and back on a relatively hilly loop, so it was about, well, out and back, about 500 plus foot in that first 75 minutes. I dropped back down onto the concrete and I finished off with 60 minutes of marathon pace, so built up the fatigue and then tried to hold marathon pace for 60 minutes after that. And let me tell you, this thing was something special, but it's not without one big problem. But before I tell you that, let's go through a quick technical overview. Let's kickstart by saying I went true to size in this shoe, which for me is a UK size 13, same as every other Saucony shoe, and it fits perfectly. We're still rolling with a 39.5 millimeters of stack height in the heel and 31 in the forefoot, meaning we have an 8 millimeter heel to toe drop, and in my UK size 13 it comes in at 274 grams or 9.6 ounces. And as always, we'll work our way through the shoe, starting at the back, moving through the shoe, finishing with the midsole and the outsole. So let's start by saying this is a mesh upper, very lightweight, very breathable, you can see right through it, exactly what you want in a racing shoe. And the weight really pleases me. Although it's gained weight from the previous version, this thing still is in top contention, in that top tier, in comparison with the Next Percent and the ENDORPHIN Elite. We'll talk about more of that in my first impressions. So yes, this is very lightweight and minimal construction, especially if we start our way back at the heel. You'll see here, there's a little bit of something, but not much. And this is what you want in a racing shoe, just a little bit of cushioning in and around the heel counter and ankle collar area, but not much structure. There's a bit of overlay that runs along the top here, almost feels like suede, and that runs about 1 centimeter around the top, but otherwise we have clear open mesh, a tiny small heel cup there. It doesn't on daily trainers like go from here all the way up there and around there. We're just focusing on that Achilles area, but it flares up nicely and it feels comfortable. The ankle cut is nice and the tongue is even nicer, but I don't know if this is what's contributing to that one problem that I mentioned. So it's a built-in knit tongue, very stretchy, feels very nice, and when you slip your foot in, it's very comfortable. Wraps over the top of the foot, and it gives you a good hugging feeling. That combined with the laces, you can pull them quite tight. I have quite a wide foot. I have left these laces tied up as per how they were, and you can see that I have cinched this down quite a lot, pulled the fabric in. So if you have a wide foot, this one will probably work for you. I do, and it felt really nice and roomy in the toe box, and I still had to cinch it quite tight down the middle. Extra eyelet there for the runner's knot, and that is just really completing the upper there. Lovely. The mesh upper, as I said, runs all the way around. A little bit of structure in the toe, but really nothing too much. Otherwise, very breathable, very lightweight, and very, very comfy. And if we move our attention to the midsole, this is where we've had one of the major changes. So this is a dual density midsole now. So previously, in the previous 3 versions, they were all running Power Run PB. We are now running Power Run HG in the top layer, which I don't exactly know and can't see see a clear distinguishment. I assume it's the orange bit, and I am wondering if it's this bit that comes out the back here. But the Power Run HG is what we see in this Saucony Endorphin Elite. That runs on the top layer, then we've got Power Run PB on the bottom, and it really does enhance the ride. We'll talk about more of that, as I said, shortly, but that's a big change. And obviously the sculpting of the midsole, you can see these flares around the back there and a mini fishtail at the back here. It's all been changed slightly, and of course if we move our attention to the outsole, you'll see we've got a big cutout in the middle there where you can see the carbon plate running through. I should mention carbon plate running full length of the shoe, and the outsole, we've got far more rubber outsole coverage than we have had in previous versions. I'm going to assume to attempt to solve the grip issue that a lot of people complain about, including myself. In wet weather, I did find the Pro and Speed to be quite slippery. To be honest with you, I mentioned in my recent speed video that has a similar outsole pattern. I didn't feel it made too much difference. I did run in wet conditions. It was okay, but I didn't feel super attached to the road. This run was in dry conditions, so I can't really comment. But it is rubber coverage all the way in the forefoot, and then a couple of bits in the high wearing areas at the back there. So that is it for the tech. So with that all being said, how did I find the shoe and the first impressions? Well, I'm really excited to tell you that I flipping love this shoe, but there is one issue which needs to be addressed, and I will be addressing it in my next run. I've got to say though, straight out of the box, taking it for 2 hours and 15 minutes just is a testament to this shoe. And to be honest with you, if you can do that with the shoe, I think a lot of people, like with the Vaporflies and stuff, we're so used to them. If you enjoy running them, you can often just grab a brand new pair, pop them out of the box and take them for a big old long run. I kind of feel the same about this shoe as well. I knew the Pro 3, I loved it, it was such a great shoe, and I will say straight away that this will get a run out in a B race at some point. Really, really comfortable. I feel that it is a little bit more lively than the previous version, a little tiny bit firmer, and I don't know if that's I don't know if that's to do with the addition of the Power Run HG foam. It probably is, because I do find the Elite firmer than the Pro 3. The Pro 3 I always liken to the Vaporfly, this most similar shoe, quite a good sink and bounce sensation. I find this to be a tiny bit more firmer and a good propulsive feeling. So I like what they've done with the midsole. It feels really good. The one big issue, the one big drawback I had with this shoe, the laces are absolute trash. And if you buy them, you've got to get rid of these things straight away. The reason I say that is because my foot did start to come a little bit loose. I couldn't quite get the tension. The reason I mentioned the knit tongue may or may not be contributing to the issue. One of the amazing things I found with Saucony shoes is they just wrap across the top of your foot lovely. And the knit tongue, the built-in knit tongue, still gives that similar sensation. But I don't know if that was contributing to it working loose, because unlike a gusseted tongue that really does hug the top of the foot, I didn't quite feel that encased in the shoe. And the laces are these terrible stretchy. I mean, look at this. You can stretch them and pull them, and my foot just got loose, and what that resulted in was a flipping huge blister on my big toe because my foot was sliding around within the shoe. Now, the first port of call for me is going to be to try the same laces but with the runners not. But as I said, I would genuinely just get rid of the laces. I will be hunting at home for an old pair of shoes that has some better laces in there and swapping them out. I don't feel like in a super shoe in this day and age you should be putting these type of laces in, especially when you're paying the price that you are for these type of shoes, £230 retail. The laces just need to be changed. And as I said, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that's what contributed to the movement. It was on the inside of my big toe, and I could feel that my foot was physically moving inside the shoe. So that was just a bit of a downer. I got home, took my foot out, saw the blister. I could feel it was getting uncomfortable after about 90 minutes, but I just pushed through, didn't think too much of it. So it didn't make a huge drama on the run. And as I said, the ride and the experience of the shoe was absolutely unreal, and I feel that they've definitely done a great job in continuing the good success of the Pro line. And I'll let you in on a little bit of secret. One of the things that you get sent when you get sent shoes is a bit of a tech sheet, some stats and things. And one thing I noticed in the small print is it said something along the lines of, you know, some great updates to the Pro 4 to elevate your race day performance or take it on a long run tempo. And what that screamed to me was they really have now tried to make this Saucony Endorphin Elite their premier racing shoe, and maybe consider people buying this for racing but also for training as well, which is interesting. Just something I thought I'd note there. And with regards to the weight, this thing has increased by 18 or 19 grams. The previous version was 255, this one is 274. So I do wonder if they've bulked it up slightly, maybe because they're wondering if they're trying to funnel people towards their elite shoe. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but either way, the increase in weight hasn't made too much of a difference, and it is still in that top tier bracket, because for me, a lot of shoes like the Vaporfly 3, 2 and 1, all are in the 250 grams. Saucony Endorphin Elite again matches exactly the same weight, 255. So those are the top tier lightest shoes that I have, and then most of the other super shoes are 280 and above. So for this to still be 270 is still decent. It still feels really lightweight, it still feels good. So I haven't noticed a massive difference in the weight gain. However, I did just want to mention that just from your benefit, to see if you were reading along the same lines as me. But overall, I've got to say, a great shoe, absolutely brilliant. Just need to get rid of these things. So I'll be tinkering with that over the next couple of runs, seeing how it goes, getting more workouts in them. In my marathon training, I've been using the On Cloud Boom Echo 3. I will be switching to this now to give it a go, see how it goes in the workouts, switch up the laces, use a runner's knot, all of that stuff. And I'll give some more feedback, maybe on this channel or maybe on the extra channel, and let you know if I've managed to sort that issue out. But overall, a massive thumbs up. Fingers crossed that movement doesn't carry on. If it does, then of course we've got a big issue on our hands. But if not, and it can get sorted, this will be one of my favorite shoes of the year straight away. Absolutely love it. And as I said, it'll be getting an outing in the B race. So I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts were in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. Will you be grabbing the upgrade? Will you be getting version 4? Does this look tasty to you? It does to me. I flipping love it, and I can't wait to put more miles in it. Love to hear from you down in the comments below. Share your thoughts. It'd be great to hear from you there. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and I'll see you on the next one.